right, in this one we're going to start reviewing systems of equations and inequalities. So just a quick overview of those. All right, so remember one way for doing these is to solve them by graphing. So I'm going to graph the first equation. Now always make sure that these are in slope-intercept form before you start graphing, which both of these equations are. All right, so begin by graphing my y-intercept of the first, so -2. So I'm going to put a dot at -2. And then I'm going to rise 3, okay, using my slope next. I'm going to rise 3 and go right 1. And I'm going to do that a few times just to make sure, oops, that point's off. I need it to be one higher, there we go. Just to make sure I've got enough points to draw my line. All right, so then I draw my line through the points. All right, changing colors, and I'm going to do the next one. My y-intercept is 2. So I'm going to put a dot at 2, and my slope on this one is a -1. So that tells me I'm going down 1 and right 1. And then I can draw the line. Now remember, when we're solving systems, we're looking for the point where the two lines cross. And it happens to be this point right here, which is the point 1, 1. So my solution for these two equations is the point 1, 1. All right, so graphing's not going to be always the best. So remember, we have another way, which is to use elimination or substitution. So we'll start with elimination. Key thing is we want to look for the variable that has the same coefficient, so the same number in front. So none of mine do, so I need to make it have. So I'm going to multiply the top by the numerator and the bottom. And I'm going to actually make this one positive since they're already opposite signs. And then I'm going to multiply the bottom by the coefficient of the top. And I'm just eliminating x. I could eliminate y as well. All right. So I'm going to multiply 4x times 3, which gives me 12x, 3 times y. And 3 times 15, which is 45. Then I'm going to do the same with the bottom. 4 times -3 is a -12x. 4 times -2 is a -8y. And 4 times -5 is a -20. Now remember, same signs subtract, opposite signs add. So since my one that has the same is opposite signs, we're adding everything. So 12 plus a -12 is 0, so those canceled out, which is what I wanted. 3 plus a -8 is a -5y. And then 45 plus a -20, oops, going back, thank you, is 25. So now we've got negative 5y is equal to 25. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 5, and I get y is equal to negative 5. So now I have my y. I need my x for the point, right? So I can pick either point. I'm going to pick the second one, or sorry, I shouldn't say either point, either equation. So I'm going to pick the second one for this one, and I'm going to do negative 3x minus 2 times a negative 5 is equal to a negative 5. And I'm going to simplify this. We'll get negative 3x. Negative 2 times negative 5 is a positive 10, equal to a negative 5. Subtract 10 on both sides. Negative 5 minus 10 is a negative 15. Last thing to do is divide. And I get x is equal to a positive 5. So my point is 5, negative 5. All right, we'll look at another one of these. All right, so again, I don't have a common coefficient on either my x or my y, so I'm going to have to multiply. So I'm going to multiply the top by 4 and the bottom by 2. And I could actually, let's do negatives on these. All right, so I'm going to do 4 times 2, which gives me 8. Negative times negative is a positive. Negative 4 times negative 9 is a positive 36. And negative 4 times negative 25 is 100. All right, we're going to do the same with the bottom. Negative 2 times 4 is a positive 8. Negative 2 times negative 3 is a positive 6. And negative 2 times negative 20 is a positive 40. Now, okay, so x has my same coefficient. Same signs, we're going to subtract everything. So 8 minus 8 is 0, canceling those out. 36 minus 6 is 30y, and 100 minus 40 is 60. I'm going to divide both sides by 30 to solve for y, and I get y is equal to 2. All right, now that we've got y, we need to find x. So I'm going to use the top one this time. Do negative 2x minus 9 times 2 equal to a negative 25. Simplifying that, I get negative 2x minus 18 equals a negative 25. Add 18 to both sides. Negative 25 plus 18 is negative 7. So I get negative 2x equals negative 7. And divide by both sides by a negative 2. I get x is equal to, well, 7 over 2 doesn't simplify other than a negative divided by a negative. I just get 7 over 2, which is fine. This is one of the reasons we have other methods. So I get 7 halves and 2. All right, now we're going to look at substitution. So remember, substitution, I need either one set equal to y or x, and I'm going to plug in together. So in this case, I've got y equals. So I'm going to take what y is equal to and plug it in for y in the opposite equation. And then I'm going to work that out. So I'm going to combine my like terms, which gives me x plus 2x is 3x. So I end up with 3x plus 1 is equal to 12. Subtract 1, get 3x equals 11. Divide by 3, and I get x is equal to 11/3. Now that I've got x, I'm going to plug back into one of the original. So in this case, I'm going to plug into the one that's already solved for y. So I'm going to 2 times 11/3 plus 1. Well, 2 times 11/3 is 22 over 3 plus 1, and we get y is equal to 25 over 3. So my point is 11/3 and 25 over 3. Okay, so the last thing we're going to talk about is graphing systems of inequalities and finding their solutions. So we graph these just like we would graph a regular equation. Begin with our y-intercept. So on this one it's a 4. And then I'm going to use my slope. So that tells me up 2 over 1. And I'm going to work backwards again to make sure I have enough points. Now this is where it differs. I need to pay attention to what my inequality symbol is. In this case it's greater than. So I'm going to shade above, and my line is dashed. Okay. All right, now I'm going to graph the second one. I begin at the y-intercept. And then I'm going to use my slope, which is a -1/2, so down 1, right 2. And then looking at my inequality symbol, it's less than or equal to. So it's a solid line. And I'm shading below. All right, so we're looking at these 2 points. Are they solutions? So for them to be solutions, we need them to fall in this area over here. So let's look at the first point, 2, 3. Well, 2, 3 is obviously not a solution because it doesn't fall in any of the shaded area. All right, -3, 5. Well, it's a solution to our top inequality, but it's not a solution to the bottom, so it's not a solution to both. I would need a point that fell, let's say, -5, -1, or -5, 1. Okay, those would be points that are a solution. All right, and that's